Good evening. This is Diamonds Network with Elizabeth Diamond and the Candy, with Candy and Elizabeth Diamond, Candy Shop Candy. She'll be along here shortly. Just want to welcome you here on August 20th, 2015. How are you guys all tonight? So we're going to have quite a variety of news. I hope, Candy, is that you? All right. So just be sure to visit the Diamonds Network blog, where you can find the Diamonds YouTube links on the right side of the blog. The very top one is the newer shows, but the Diamond one is a lot of shows too, and they're fairly new. So you go to the Diamonds blog with Diamonds Forever, Diamonds with an S, Forever, 31.blogspot.com. Me and Christopher Stephen Jacobs are doing a brand new series called Raw Speaks, following Corey Good, who's a whistleblower from the Secret Space Program in my lab, and David Wilcock interviewing him. They're on episode 8 right now, and we're taking each of their episode and what Corey is bringing out that is brand new to the world, nobody's heard before. We're taking that information and we're even expanding more detail on that. Now, that's called double disclosure, right? With Corey and David and then me and Chris. And they've been really good so far. For instance, this last show we're not quite caught up with Corey and David yet. They're on 8 and we're following right behind, and we're on number 3. We'll be doing number 4 show tomorrow. But number 3 show, for instance, example, we asked one of our, we could galactowise and use the prayer of one too, but we asked one of our friends in the stars if they could share with us a brand new technology that they're going to release to us on Earth that we have not heard about before. Guess what? They did. It's amazing. I never heard of it before, and nobody else has unless you listen to this show. I'm not going to give it away. You're going to have to listen to this show. So check them out. That's going to be really great. And then this is our second in the Elizabeth Diamond Candy Shop show. And then we do the regular shows on Mondays. And then also every other Thursday is Cynthia Mariana Mayer, the astrology, learning who you really are, that week's astrology. So all the same time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So let me just see, Candy, go ahead and star 6 when you get on here. Let me make sure the room is not locked. Sometimes the conference room gets locked and nobody can get in, but it's unlocked. So welcome, everybody. Let's see. Candy was going to start first, so I'm kind of like, Candy. I did meet somebody online before we started the recording, and I'd like to bring him on and see if he has any news on our true world. Let's just see. Can you come in, sir, and say...
Yeah, Candy?
No, this is Elizabeth, but I was just talking to you. Do you have anything to share with us that you've been following lately?
Of course, my particular focus field of interest is the alternative community world and what's taking place. And there has been 2 major developments recently, one which took place in Atlanta, Georgia, and the other one that's either convening now or shortly due to convene in Utah. And it's basically a parliament of intentional community of the intentional community movement, where they're actually getting together, and the only thing that comes to mind that's similar would be like the Continental Congress. The different colonies coming together to start getting organized and work together in a more cohesive fashion. So so this is. This is the main focus that I plan on working in, is developing communications between these different communities on an international basis, so we can start, talking about what we're going to build for the future, and that's about the long and the short of it at the moment.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing with us about that. All right, so waiting for Candy to get here, but I want to just insert a part in this show. I just want to go through, kind of tell you our unique things that we're doing that makes us stick out. Diamonds Forever 31 show, and on Diamonds, I call it galactowizing, where we bring in our. There's Candy. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. I'm back. Candy thought she was on the call. I said, we're all over here. Come over here. Anyway, she's on her way. So our uniqueness at Diamonds here, what we do, Diamonds Forever 3113, is we galactowize, and that's bringing in our star sisters and brothers from every dimension and different planets around this universe and beyond. And we actually talk with them and build a relationship with them, and they share what they do and their vision and encouragement to us, and we share with them what we do and our vision and encouragement to them. And intertwined in that is the awesome prayer, the Law of One, which asks for the highest good of all concerned. And literally, we on the Diamond Show can see that manifest even after we pray that prayer for things as they show up, literally in a tangible way through Chris, who his third eye is on, which all of our third eyes are turning on right now as we speak. This 4-week span, we're on the third eye chakra from July 22nd to August 22nd. A few days more, and then we go up to the crown chakra from August 22nd to September 22nd. So we're in a really awesome time right now, you guys. So enjoy it, and remember the lasting memories. Just try to enjoy your ride through this transition. Transition is a little rough and hard and confusing at times, but fasten them seatbelts. So, Candy, before you come on, let me just review what we did in this special mix I just presented. So it all started with when I think it was Tyler, and he's from a Galactic Alliance, came in on a Diamond show, and he shared with us when he was giving us an update of what was going on in the world and the bad boy world crumbling and everything. He shared with us that they took one of the bad boy's toys down. And I said, oh, really? I asked, what toy did you take down? And they shared. They said harp. Now, this was like 2 or 3 months ago, but they took that down. But that gave us an idea. Okay, well, we're going to take some of these bad boy toys down with the Law of One. The Law of One is a galactic prayer. It's a universal prayer. It's the prayer and the law that overrides, I call it the trumper, overrides all laws, civil, justice, any laws you can think of. Literally, seriously, have faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not yet seen. But we see them right after we pray for that Law of One on these specific subjects. So after HARP was taken down by the alliance and our galactic brothers and sisters, me and Candy and Chris had an idea, and on Candy Shop's show, we prayed for the cell phone interference and the internet interference. And since then, and I think that same time was for the super computer, that big computer the bad boys use. Well, we prayed for him, and he's out doing good now, and we renamed him Super Happy Computer. Let me just list some other things, and then we're going to make a video collage for all this, and you can hear excerpts of all of what has been changed to the highest good of all concerned with the Law of One, and it wouldn't have happened if we weren't galactowizing with our brothers and sisters. in this way where we can see manifestation immediately after we pray. And it wouldn't have been possible without Christopher Stephen Jacobs and all of our team and all of you that I'll hopefully, take it to heart and expand your consciousness and share all this with your friends and hope and pray for them and expand their consciousness. So it was the cell phones, the internet, I'll just list them, the supercomputer. It was on a few of the Diamonds councils we had, it was robots and mechanics that looked like humans that changed over, and a lot of these changed over to the Good Guy Alliance after we prayed the highest good of all concern for the ones that were on the bad side. Oh, let's see, there was we helped a galactic friend of ours, his name's Alik, get safe from the bad boy in the galaxy. What else? Soul shards. We prayed for all implants in every single person, the law of one, for the highest good of all concerned to happen. We prayed for what they call the dark fleet. Some of the dark fleet got caught out of the barrier when the blue avians on Alliance put up a barrier around the Earth, around the galaxy for bad guys not to get in no more. And it's still up today, but some of them were caught out there and they want to do good, so we saved some of the Dark Fleet members. Let's see. We actually received, through our galactizing, we got a Law of One symbol by a nurse, a galactic nurse, and co-creation with Christopher Stephen Jacobs, and we're going to be rolling something out on these symbols too soon, but I won't say much more yet. And we helped save Dracos that were in stasis. We prayed for the highest good of all concerned, for chemtrails and CERN, and a lot more. So with that, Candy, welcome. Are you here?
I am here, Elizabeth.
There you go. I'm going to give you the floor. You, and then I want your friend that had a good idea, call me after the call or call me tomorrow. Or he'll call you. All right, go ahead, Candy. Love you. Candy Shop Candy, here she is.
Okay. All right. Yes, it's been so exciting, the things that we've been able to accomplish with the Diamond Network and Chris and galactizing and the Candy Shop.
Talk a little bit further up to the phone, please.
Okay, the Candy Shop show is on Wednesdays, and we bring a candy jar to Elizabeth's show of treats, bits of news and spiritual suggestions, and we have been excited about some of the treats because, of course, the main thing that we've been galactalizing is to ask our ET friends what can we do to help speed up first contact, and they're just so excited, that we have using our free will to ask them to come and to visit with each of us, private people, and to bypass the governments and to bring on Valiant Thor's list of things to heal us and to change over the financial system. And after we started talking about that, then Benjamin Fulford started hearing from the White Dragon Society and all these groups about things that were happening and speeding up to indeed bring on a new financial situation. And I think I want to say hooray for tonight, because the stock market dropped horribly. It just fell away 350 points a couple of hours ago, and wow, the whole world is all shook up. And so gasoline prices have dropped many places below $2. Now people that were investing in the stock market, they're kind of in a state of shock, because a lot of those would be the elite, and we want to wake them up. And so that's good news. And of course, Benjamin Fulford had said that Hillary Clinton was going to jail, and Jeb Bush, and sure enough, this week that they started not just talking about some mistakes she's made. They have started talking about opening a criminal investigation into Hillary Clinton and her activities. And now that got launched kind of yesterday, then today on the news, they're putting a lot of pressure on Jeb Bush. So maybe Benjamin Fulford is correct about how everything is going to be turned topsy-turvy, and they're going to weaken the cabal, and they're going to put in good guys in the Pentagon, and they're going to set the stage faster than any of us ever dreamed that we would have first contact.
Maybe, yes, Candy. Let me add to that. I did just blog on the Diamonds blog, the Galactic Federation of Light report that just came out today by Sheldon Neidl. And he talks all about what you talked about and the funds and everything. So go listen. It's like 8 minutes long. So that goes with that and Archangel Michael message. Yeah. Oh, and I just want to tell everybody this is reference number 268 on the recorded line, 209-255-1099, 883267 pound, 268 reference for anybody. Okay, Candy, go forth. Yes.
Yes, and people are so excited that Yosemite closed and opened up a place for these refugees that we've helped flee from the Mars colonies and the moon-based colonies, and there's so much affirmation of what we've been accomplishing out there, you know, in the news and in mainstream news. So this is extremely exciting, so that's some of the ideas I've been talking about in the candy jar treats, doing your mantras, working on your visualizations, and of course Cynthia gave us some wonderful ideas about meditation and visualization. I hope people will be listening to the YouTube from last Thursday, and then she'll be back next Thursday. And I appreciate Chris and Elizabeth putting up some of my shows. We did a show on forgiveness, and that's getting some views and positive comments from the Elizabeth's blog, and it's just wonderful. She's got the 3 raw speaks that she and Chris has done. So do be going every day to Elizabeth's blog and seeing what the Diamond Networks, the 3 facets of us, are putting up there. So we're going to that's the end of the candy jar treats, and we're going to have Christopher on the Candy Shop Show next Wednesday, and so I hope everybody can join that at the 559-546-1700 number. Starts an hour earlier than this one. An hour later at 9:30 Eastern Time, and the PIN is 800718. Well, listen, Elizabeth has asked me to talk a little bit about a couple of my favorite book series that kind of set the basis, I think, for a lot of what's going on today. The foundational book, and the one I want to mention first. Yes.
Can I just prelude to what this show I think is going to be turning out to be on Thursdays? What Candy just said. She actually has the subject. I'll put it in a nutshell. She has the subject of what's all going on. She has the subject of beauty, us co-creating beauty, and I got the subject of the galactic part, the true story of why we're here on Earth. So this is going to be beautiful. We're creating beauty now, Candy. So go for it, girl.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be spotlighting the Anastasia book. Anastasia was so beautiful, and she has just inspiring people to love nature, to love each other, to love Mother Earth. And she said, the creation has been waiting for eons for man to decide that he would like to walk back into the Garden of Eden. I just thought that was amazing. Okay, so we left, we goofed things up, we spoiled the Garden of Eden thousands of years ago, but why not walk back in it? Why not make it? Why not cooperate with Mother Earth and make Mother Earth a Garden of Eden again? Now, of course, she was said that 20 years ago, and things didn't happen fast enough, and there's going to be a lot of changes. There are going to be great changes, not exactly what we might have hoped 20 years ago, but very, very positive changes. And it's going to be good for us. And in the meantime, there are so many people that are learning to ask Mother Earth for forgiveness and to work with her elementals. And Anastasia's publishers are called Ringing Cedars, and their website is ringingcedars.com. I called them today and had a little visit with the Americans that are distributing the Russian books in the English language, and they were quite glad to speak with me. I've asked them if they would come on the call some Thursday night, and they were too busy tonight, but they said that they're trying to get schools established and working with natives around the world and teaching some of the native tricks to modern-day people that are interested in eco-villages, sustainable living light on the land, loving nature and letting nature blossom and bloom under our love. And they said the first place that the schools will be established will be in Australia, and they will be working with the natives there in Australia. So they've gotten a lot of the foundational work. They're going to take 200 students for each semester at these Anastasia nature schools. That's my name for them. They've got another kind of a name to use. But it's just very exciting that Vladimir Magritte channeled these books with Anastasia, and that they've been translated into over 20 languages, and over 10 million people have bought Anastasia, book 1, and I want to talk a little bit about book 3, which is called The Space of Love. And these books are, samples of all these books are free on Kindle, and some of them are, the whole book is free. And, of course, on YouTube there are fans of Anastasia who have read the books into YouTube videos. So they're out there, and she's done so many things to set the pattern for what Christopher Jacobs and others are doing now. She's teleported to other planets, and just like Chris goes there through his third eye, and they can see him there. When she teleported with Vladimir Magritte, they could see her and him there as well. They were maybe like a ghost figure, but they were there, that and the aliens could see them. And in one place in the book, the aliens were not humanoid, and they were pretty shocked to see a couple of humans beam into their office on their planet. But that's the kind of skills she has, and she is hoping that many more will be developing these kind of skills. And, of course, today we have Christopher and others who are doing just that. Now, I'd like to slow down a little bit, and if if Elizabeth wants to chime in at any point, she's welcome to. If I'm not making myself clear or speaking plainly. But
Candy,
yes. Yes,
I'm impressed. Did you say you called them? You called the publishers? Is that what you said in Russia for the Anastasia books?
I called the American publishers in California.
Ah, I am so impressed. You're a good girl. You're a Candy girl. I just want to interject here. After Candy gets done with her portion, we'll take a break and open up the room for any comments, questions, or anything you want to bring in from everybody listening. Probably 5-10 minutes, and then we'll go into my portion. So you're doing great. I'm listening, Candy.
Okay. Yes, folks. Make a note of your questions, and I'd like to hear your questions or comments. That'd be great. Well, in Chapter 6 of the first book, which is called Anastasia, and I want to say that these are most unusual books because they are 1/3 novel, romance novel, 1/3 documentary, and 1/3 inspirational spiritual things. So the literary world is just blown away how Vladimir Magritte could bring all three types of writings into one book, and I'm sure this makes it a lot more popular. It's always fun to read things in a story or a fairy tale or parable format, and you kind of remember things a little bit better. Well, Anastasia's Morning is the name of Chapter 6 by Magritte, and he writes, Anastasia goes to bed at nightfall in one of the shelters hollowed out by the creatures of the forest, most often in the bear's dugout. When it is warm there in Siberia during the summertime, she can sleep right on the grass. The first thing she does upon waking is offering an exuberant outburst of joy to the rising sun, to the new sprouts on all the twigs, to the new shoots of growth popping up from the earth. She touches them with her hands, strokes them, occasionally adjusts something into place. Then she runs over to the little trees and gives them a thump on their trunks. The treetops shake and shower down on her something resembling pollen or dew. Then she lies down on the grass and spends about 5 minutes blissfully stretching and squirming. Her body becomes covered with what appears to be a moist cream. Then she takes a run and jumps into her little lake, splashes about, and dives down. She's a terrific diver. Now, this is just what he sees when she first wakes up. And now, a little bit later, she has her morning meditation ritual, which she recommends to her readers. She tries to do it like about 6 o'clock every morning. She encourages you to get into a rhythm, whatever time you pick, whatever elements of your ritual is, but to meet your guardian angels and your guides and commune with Mother Earth each morning. And I certainly do that. In the summertime, I'm out there again this morning having a nice drink of dew, and I set the intention when I'm drinking the dew. I just put my hand in the grass and play around with it, and my fingers are just full of the dew, and as I set the dew off my fingers, I set the intention that dew will be so vibrant and will revitalize the senior citizen. And I recommend that to you guys as well. But you can think here of some of the aspects of her morning ritual. What could you do? You could give a little tree a loving thump. You can thank creation for the rising sun and the new sprouts and all these things. So think about that for your morning rituals. Now, the next chapter is called Anastasia's Ray. And I think I'll just read a little bit of it, and you can see the flow here instead of just trying to, let's see. My time is going by quickly. Well, I'll see what I can do. Vladimir writes, I think the most unusual mystical phenomenon I witnessed during my time in the forest was Anastasia's ability to see, not only individuals at great distance, but also what was going on in their lives. She did this with the help of an invisible ray. She maintains this was something everybody has, but people don't know about it and are unable to make use of it because they can't visualize that they have it. She says, man has still not invented anything that is not already in nature. The technology behind television is a poor imitation of the possibilities of this ray that each of us have. But I told her, since the ray is invisible, that I didn't believe in it. And in spite of her repeated attempts to demonstrate and explain how it worked, to find some proof or explanation, then one day she said, tell me, Vladimir, what do you think daydreams are? And are many people able to dream of the future? Daydreaming? I think a lot of people are able to do that. It's when you imagine yourself in a future of your own desire. Fine. So, Vladimir, you do not deny that man has the capacity to visualize his own future, to visualize various specific situations? That I don't deny. And what about intuition? Intuition? It's probably the feeling one has when, instead of analyzing what might happen or why, some sort of feeling suggests the right thing to do. So, Vladimir, you do not deny that in man there exists something besides ordinary analytical reasoning that helps him determine his own and others' behavior. Well, let's say that's true, Anastasia. Wonderful. Good, she exclaimed. Now, the night dream. What is that? The dreams almost all people have when they are asleep. The night dream, I really don't know what it is. When you're asleep, a dream is simply a dream. All right, let's call it a dream. But you do not deny it exists. You and other people are aware that someone in a dream state, when his body is almost beyond the control of a part of his consciousness, can see people and all sorts of things going on. Well, that I think is something nobody will deny, Anastasia. But still, Vladimir, in a dream, people can communicate, hold conversations, emphasize. Yes, they can. And what do you think? Can a person control his dream, call up in the dream images and events he would like to see, just like on ordinary television, for example? I don't think that would work out for anyone. The dream somehow comes all by itself. You are wrong, Vladimir. Man can control everything. Man was created to control everything. The ray I am telling you about consists of all the information, concepts, intuitions, emotional feelings one possesses, and as a result of dreamlike visions consciously controlled by man's will. But Anastasia, how can a dream be controlled within a dream? Not within a dream, wide awake, as if pre-programmed, and with absolute accuracy. You only experience this in a dream, and it is chaotic. Man has lost most of his ability to control natural phenomena and himself. So he has decided that a night dream is simply an incidental byproduct of his tired brain. In fact, almost everybody on the earth can, well, if you like, I can try helping you see something at a distance right here and now. You can? Well, go ahead. Okay, Vladimir. And I'd lie down on the grass and relax. Let go so that your body draws less energy. It's important that you're comfortable. Nothing standing in the way. Now think about the person you know best. Your wife, for example. Recollect her habits, how she walks, her clothing, where you think she might be right now, and then turn the whole thing over to your imagination. I remembered my wife, knowing that at that moment she might be at our country home. I imagined the house and some of the furnishings. I remembered a great deal and in some detail, but I didn't see anything. I told Anastasia about all this, and she replied, "You are not able to let go all the way as though you were going to go to sleep. I shall help you. Close your eyes. Stretch out your arms." Closing my eyes, I felt her fingers touch mine. I began to immerse myself in a dream or a wakeful doze. There was my wife standing in the kitchen of our country home. It was cool in the house. Again, some kind of trouble with the heating system. So she was wearing a knitted cardigan. My wife was making coffee on the gas stove and something else in the small crock pot for the dog. My wife's face was gloomy and unhappy. Her movements were sluggish. All at once, she turned her head, tripped over to the window, looked out at the rain, and smiled. The coffee on the stove was spilling over. She picked up the pot with its overflowing liquid, but didn't frown or get upset as she usually did. She took off the cardigan. I woke up. "Well?" Anastasia asked, "Did you see anything?" "I did indeed, but maybe it was just an ordinary dream." "How could it be ordinary? Did you not plan on seeing your wife in particular?" "Yes, I did, and I saw her. But where is the proof that she was actually there in the kitchen at the moment I saw her in the dream? Remember this day and hour, Vladimir, and if you want to have proof when you get home, ask her, was there not something else out of the ordinary that you noticed?" "Can't think of anything." "You mean to say you did not notice a smile on your wife's face when she went over to the window? She was smiling and she did not get upset when the coffee spilled?" "Well, that I did notice. She probably saw something interesting out the window which made her feel good." All she saw out the window was rain which she never likes. So why was she smiling? I, too, was watching your wife through my ray and warmed her up. So your ray warmed my wife up? What about mine? Too cold? You were only looking out of curiosity. You did not put any feeling and energy into your ray to help your wife. So, Anastasia, your ray can warm people up at a distance? Yes, it can do that. And what else can it do? Well, it can gather certain kinds of information, or it can transmit. It can cheer up a person's mood and partially take away someone's illness. There are a lot of other things it can do, depending on the energy available and the degree of feeling, will, and desire. And can you see in the future? Well, Elizabeth, I think we will pause right there and let your listeners imagine what the answer is going to be in 2 weeks from now. But isn't that exciting that we have a ray that's stronger than a television ray?
Oh, my God, Candy. This is beautiful. This has inspired me, just what you read, what you've done so far tonight. And it'll remind us, because we have this show every other week, it'll remind us as we're going through this to help use these tools, because the more we practice them, the more muscles we get, so to speak. Yeah, number one, I just want to bring in a few comments. Number one, and you guys bring some in too, what you thought. When she talked about the TV, everything in nature we can bring forth. So the TV is brought forth from our third eye. And I like that point where regarding about dreaming, when we're dreaming at night, and it doesn't seem like we can control our dreams, but I've done lots of research, and I know you can get into what's called lucid dreaming, where you're actually in control when you're dreaming at night. But now what you just read gave me an idea. They were talked about daydreaming, and Anastasia led that man through that. And so if we can start with, to be able maybe to get lucid in our dreaming at night, start with daydreaming beauty, especially in this transition. Just like that example Candy just read.
Absolutely. And it's just like what Cynthia said. This is the time, and these special 28 days with astrologically, that if we daydream, if we visualize the greatest, the best things, if we visualize the 100 people of the Diamond Network developing our rays, being on the forefront of using these new natural technologies that we can develop now, but will be spearheaded even more after first contact. It's just wonderful. We can do our daydreaming, and we can set our intentions at night, and we can have dreams about what we want to have dreams about. We can have dreams about. We can set our intentions for our astral bodies to go and help Tyler and Frank and Velada and Valiant Soar with their projects, and we can just use our free will to not just be having a chaotic dream at night, but to really be a service to the universe.
Absolutely. And for instance, like, I'll just use an example for maybe everybody now regarding daydreaming. And within that daydreaming, we can become lucid in our dreams at night, because we're daydreaming as a little child from our heart of our little child, and we're practicing that, and that's a muscle. Our daydream's a muscle, and we build our muscles as we do that, and then we build our muscles in the dream. So, for example, like, you're having money problems. You don't have enough money to pay this month's rent. Well, sit down and go into that little child and imagine you getting enough money to pay the rent and beyond. And also, like Cynthia's taught us, also when you're daydreaming, with every daydream, even if it's not a problem, something that you desire, go into your little child daydream, sit down and just take 5 minutes and daydream it. And use the law of one in each daydream, because the law of one determines the highest good of all concerned for you, for that particular, and we know how that manifests tangibly. And also, like, there is no time and distance. So when you're daydreaming, you don't have to be right by a person. You could be thousands of miles away or galaxies away from them. So, yes.
And your ray is strengthened by your energy. And her book gives lots of clues about how to increase your energy. And, of course, the dew drinking is one of them.
Wow.
And for me, increasing my energy happens when I have vegetarian meals. I eat lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, and I try to pick things from the garden and eat them within an hour or two. I study a lot about wild foods. I'm always eating flower petals and lamb's quarters and things that nature has created, and there's just many different techniques that we need to do to increase our energy, and therefore these natural, biological, technological things like our rays can just blossom and be a blessing for us.
Absolutely. You don't even have to buy anything or do anything. Just taking a day that you don't do nothing and you just like lollygag around and maybe do little things, but you just take a day and don't do your normal routine. Do not do your normal routine. I did that today. That just taking that day or even half a day will really increase your energy. Yeah, and the root of it is to have that love energy, love and beauty thinking, positive thinking.
And Chris has shared how we need to tear up our negative karma contracts, how we need to use our magical wards to shield and protect us from any negative, so that we're clear and we're free. And just using the symbol of and the prayer of the law of one can just so energize us. And since Chris has cleared out my home and my house with the Dracos, and it's just so much more easy to do these energizing things. And sometimes the type of dining that Anastasia does, it's called the grazing diet. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in the future. And sometimes I do the grazing diet as well. And that's,
you mentioned that last week or two, and even you talking about that, I had a day or two I started doing that. That's kind of beautiful. Yeah.
Great.
Candy.
Well,
yeah. So
why don't we why don't we?
Is there anybody out there that has any comments or anything that they do that we've talked about, or anything they want to share with us? Just *6 and come on in.
Candy, this is Dale. So
Good.
And you know, it's funny when you were reading the story. You know, I grew up as a child in Alaska during the 50s, and it's very, what you read was very similar to my experience with communing with nature. You know, and we used to get a weekly reader every week in school. And it really offended me so much when I read that the first time I heard the word smog, and there was some kind of an inversion, weather anomaly in London, where the coal dust had gotten down on the surface level and was actually killing people. And you know, my departure from the human race really started right then, because I couldn't imagine anybody ignorant enough to live in poison. You know, here I was up in Alaska breathing, you know, pristine air. I had glacier water out of the streams. I never packed a lunch when I went picking in the woods, because we had rose hips and cranberries and raspberries, and you know, there was always you just, you know, it was the description of Jeffrey Lawton. He's an Australian permaculture expert. He described what he wants to do is turn the world into an edible forest, where we just as you described early, you know, go back to the Garden of Eden, and where there's abundance and beauty, and it just really resonated with me, because I had the opportunity in my life to actually live it, you know. And so
that is just wonderful, Dale, and I'm so glad you've joined us on the Diamond Network shows. I think this is for the first time you've called in from California, and maybe you've forgotten we have talked in the past, but I went to school and lived in Fairbanks, Alaska, and I remember how fresh and beautiful and clear everything was.
Yeah, and the crystal, the really crystal. You would have those days when there would be a big snowstorm with lots of snow, and then the following day it would be sunny, and it would melt the surface of all the lakes and the rivers about a quarter of an inch of water, and then that night it was freeze and be a full moon. Well, I can remember going up on the headwaters where the streams were, and just coasting downhill as the sun rose up. And all the icicles on the trees and everything, it was like a crystal palace. It's the beauty was really indescribable, and you know, it was like my youth was my young years from up to 10 years old was really a total daydream, because
yes, Mother Earth could have been such a Garden of Eden everywhere, and I love the greenery where I am, but the well water, you know, it's not tasty like it really ought to be. I'm glad I have a chance to drink water that doesn't have chlorine or fluoride in it, but still, it's not as tasty. It's not as tasty as it was when I first moved here over 25 years ago. Well, Dale, thank you so much. Let's see if someone else has a comment as well.
Yeah, and just 1 second, I was going to say, I want to get with you and express afterwards by phone and express what we discussed earlier about developing a news program, a weekly news program. But anyway.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Dale. We'll come back. We're going to be doing this every other Thursday. And then we talk about astrology. Next week we'll be talking about astrology on the same line, same time.
Okay, great.
Hi, it's Sunny. Hi, Candy.
Well, hi, Sunny.
Hi. I've been listening to the whole show, and I just wanted to say that to everybody, you know that I've read the first 2 Anastasia books, and my impression is that, of course, that the Divine Feminine really comes through her, And that's something that's so needed now on our planet. The tune with nature and just that whole way she presents herself. And so I'm feeling that the whole planet needs this balance of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. The masculine has been so predominant for so long. And then when Dale was talking about how he grew up, I thought I would say that, well, I grew up in the city, but my family there was a garden in the middle of this urban neighborhood. And as a little girl, I just liked to go out there and, we had tall sunflowers, we had other kinds of flowers, and we grew a few vegetables, simple gardening. And I was always so drawn to nature. And it was like we were in a sanctuary in the middle of, close to Boston. We were in, like a nature sanctuary, more or less. Even though everybody could see us, we set a fence around the place. So I just wanted to say that I just feel very much attuned to all of that's been discussed today and about and I hope to do more of what, it's good to be reminded. Right here in California right now, it's very dry, and there isn't any dew in the morning. There is when it's earlier in the season, but it's very dry here right now, and I'm looking out and I'm seeing the sun coming through the smoke haze. But it'll get better, and I truly do trust that it's going to get better. So I am.
Well, that's wonderful, Sonny, and I was glad that I could tell you about Anastasia, and appreciate that you listened to my suggestion to get her book, and it's been a blessing to you. I know that in the wintertime here, I go out and collect some frost, and I set something outside sterile for the frost to collect on, and then I can. I just take a few drops, but I just feel like it's good. It's good.
Well, that's good.
Well,
anything from nature, anything from nature, naturally occurring, non-polluted. Of course, I lived in the island of Maui for a while, so that was a very opportune place to appreciate the lushness of nature.
And of course, most of us here are senior citizens. I think Elizabeth's the baby in the group, but we're talking about 60 years ago in your case, and things are definitely not as nice, even at the same location as where you grew up 60 years ago.
Oh yeah, it was in the 50s or the late 40s and 50s that we had this place in Brookline, Massachusetts, with the Eloist community, more or less, the building there. And then we moved to Duxbury in 54, Duxbury, Mass. Yeah.
Did you remain a vegetarian throughout your life?
I experimented a little bit. I got off. Well, actually, when I went to school, I was such an oddball for being a vegetarian. I tried to fit in, and I did eat some meat then, and I ate. But it was horrible what they served in the cafeterias, of course, and so I did, but I haven't had any red meat since that time. Since I had hamburgers back then, but I haven't had any since then. Since I guess my late teens. Or early.
So for 50 years, you've been a pure vegetarian.
Well, almost.
For me, it's been 40 years. Okay,
well,
Elizabeth has got some great things to share tonight, too. And if we don't have any more comments or questions on my topic, Elizabeth, you want to take it away?
Is there anybody else that has a comment would like to come in? And I was thinking when you guys talking about food, I'm not planning on it, but I'm just kind of changing my appetite. I've been eating beets. I go in the farmer's market, beets and eggplant. I had eggplant tonight. But talking about dreams, carrots and carrot juice are really good for lucid dreams, you guys.
All right.
So if there's no, yeah.
I carrot
So
juice.
and carrot juice. Oh, do you? And I have a juicer. I got some carrots from the farmer's market. I'm gonna put them in the juicer. But you know, a place I used to work at. They're from Africa, Nigeria, I think. That was like one of their staple snacks. They would just have a raw carrot, just chew on it like an apple. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, guys. Now we're going to go into this part of the galactic painting the beauty, and this is all about us. And I'm going to just actually read this book, but not for very long. And after that, just take notes if you have any comments or questions or any experience you want to bring in. And Candy, if you want to bring any points in too after I'm done. So we'll have this kind of same discussion when I finish. So I'm going to be reading the book called Sunshine Before the Dawn by Judy Satori. That's Judy Satori, Satori. And she has a website. You can Google it too. It's on her website. It's called The True Story of Why We're Here on Earth. So I'll start tonight with the dedication and prologue. See if we get. I'll probably read for like 25 minutes or so. Dedication. This story is dedicated with gratitude to all of you from the Star Nations who came here to hold the light on Earth. Sunshine Before the Dawn. Okay, let me put this down here. Okay. Prologue, how it all began. In the late 1990s, I was living in Auckland, New Zealand, working as a healer in the human energy field and as a spiritual teacher, transmitting both energy and information from many higher dimensional beings of light. I guess you could say my personal story of the stars began one night in 1998 when a man named Alvin called me at my home in a high state of stress. It was late and I was tired, yet there was a tinge of urgency in his voice that compelled me to listen. I've got to see you as soon as possible, said Alvin. There are waves of energy running through my body. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry it's so late, but can I come and see you now? Yes, of course, I replied. Come now. I could feel that what was occurring for this man was something extraordinary, and I felt that I needed to help him if I could. When Alvin arrived at home a short time later, I asked him to lie down on my massage table so that I could check how the energy fields of his body were functioning. Despite being an energy healer, I knew that what was happening to Alvin at that time was possibly beyond my expertise, and I was unsure how to help him. As he lay on the massage table with his eyes closed, withering in discomfort, he attempted to describe what he was feeling. I feel nauseous, he said, like I'm at sea. It's like being seasick. He closed his eyes again. I held on to his feet, praying that I might be able to help him. Within my mind, I heard a voice say, he has an entity attachment. Please help me to help Alvin, I prayed. Immediately, I felt a jolt of energy coming from Alvin, flowing through my body and out through the soles of my feet. Alvin's body jerked upwards on the massage table. He lay back down, still with his eyes closed. As is my custom,
What happened, Elizabeth?
Can you hear me?
I can. This is Candy.
Yeah, Candy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, well, I don't know, but we lost the connection. If we're still connected, I have no explanation for it. We lost the signal, or what?
Right. Well, now I'm sure that this is still being tape recorded. Yes,
Okay, are you there?
Yes, we're here.
Okay, sorry, I got knocked off. I keep a notebook and pen handy to capture my thoughts and any messages given to me. I began writing. Alvin was breathing quietly, so I wasn't worried. I stopped writing and asked him how he was doing. I can't open my eyes, he said. But somehow I can see that I'm on a spaceship and I'm out in space. I'm looking through the windows and I can see the stars. I can see the earth. Now I'm looking back toward the earth. It looks far away. There are many beings around me, strange-looking beings. Some look very tall, rather like us, but with upturned eyes. They're wearing shimmering robes of many colors. Others look quite short. There's only about 3 feet tall. They're only about 3 feet tall with large, round, dark eyes. They're moving away from me now, and I can see coming toward me other rather grotesque-looking beings. They look like no creature I've ever seen. They're talking to me. They say I've been brought here to receive an energy transmission so that at the right time I can bring through knowledge to help the earth. I found this pretty interesting as I knew that Alvin was an inventor working with solar power, and I wondered about this knowledge that was to help the earth. Alvin went on to describe the interior of the spaceship as being decorated with inscriptions of gold, silver, red, and cobalt blue, which looked a little like Egyptian hieroglyphs, but not quite the same. Then he surprised me. They have a message for you, he said. They say that your purpose is to recode the DNA, not now, but at the time of the Earth's shift to higher consciousness. Let me interject, we are in the time of the Earth's shift to higher consciousness, you guys. They say they will begin to prepare you now, and then you will know within your soul that you are what you are to do. Somewhere within me, I sensed that this was correct, but my soul knowledge of DNA at that time was from school biology classes. I only knew about 2 strands of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, also known as the double helix, but Alvin was talking about 12 strands of DNA, which he described as the template or pattern of ultimate human potential. I was not aware in 1998 that 12 strands of DNA were thought by those in spiritual New Age circles to relate to the perfected pattern of the human being. It was not until later that I learned that optimizing this inherent 12-strand DNA potential would allow energy from higher dimensions to come into the body's energy fields through 12 vibratory energy pathways. This in turn would switch on human potential in the same way that we might switch on a light bulb, and would advance humanity's evolution in seemingly miraculous ways. The entire event lasted a couple of hours, and Alvin left less troubled. As I wished him well, I felt strangely calm, excited, and bubbling with a sense of happiness. Even so, I took time to sit down and finish writing my recollection of the event and the thoughts about this new purpose before getting some sleep. Over the next few days, I thought about my experience with Alvin, my recoding assignment, and what was meant by the 12 strands of DNA. I began researching many books, yet it was my spiritual guides who became my greatest teachers. They told me that the 12 strands of DNA also related to 12 dimensions within what they called the lower heavenly world. When I asked what this meant, they told me that a dimension is rather like a vibrating envelope of light, a wave band of energy within which beings that resonate at that rate of vibratory frequency can exist in physical bodies. In these 12 lower heavenly worlds, each soul can take on physical form, and this form depends on the dimensional environment into which the soul is born, to experience mortal life. It was also explained that within each strand of DNA are 12 substrands, 144 substrands in total. My spiritual guides explained the many different life forms that exist in the 12 dimensions of the lower heavenly worlds. They said that the physical form of each soul depends on the frequency wave band they are born within, as well as the unique environmental characteristics of the planet or star that is home. I learned that on Earth, human beings have long existed within what is called third-dimensional reality. In this wave band of light, souls are housed within quite dense physical bodies. The form of the body, depending on the genes received from both parents, I discovered later that the incarnate form of the human being is also shaped by morphogenetic fields of energy, which remain with the soul through all its lifetimes of experience. The word morpho literally means to form or to build. These morphogenetic energy fields are the light, sound, and scalar waves or waves of potential that are the template for the physical body's energetic creation. I learned from my guides that from the time of the harmonic convergence in 1987, higher dimensional energy began streaming into Earth's atmosphere, reading the Earth for a shift to a faster pulsating consciousness and vibration, fifth dimensional energy. And by the way, I think we are fully in fourth dimensional energy now, and there's fifth dimensional energy coming in as we speak. Okay, a faster pulsating consciousness and vibration, fifth dimensional energy. This influx of energy has been accelerating since the year 2000 and continues to increase. Let me read the word accelerating. Activating more and more people into a greater understanding of their inherent spiritual nature. This energy activation coincides with the opening of stargates, energy portals in time and space that are reconnecting Earth and her people with the incoming energy of higher dimensional star civilization. First Pleiades, then Sirius, Orion, Arcturus, Andromeda, Vega, and by 2010, Lyra. My guides explained that all these star races contributed aspects of their genetic code to the genetic code or genome of the human being, but that throughout all of Earth's time in the third dimension, this genetic code has only been partially activated and is not near its full potential. However, all this was unknown to me back in 1998 when I helped Alvin through his ordeal, listening as he told me about his experience on the spaceship and writing down everything he said. Back then, I considered extraterrestrial beings as, quote-unquote, alien, and was rather unnerved by the whole alien experience. Even so, Judy comes from the Christian realm, you guys. Even so, I did feel a happiness that I couldn't quite explain. In the intervening years, I have worked with many extraterrestrial or star beings and known them to be created by God. I have also begun to use the term God interchangeably with spirit, source, or universal energy, as they all mean the same to me. I have learned that the purpose of these benign, loving star nations is to guide and support us here on Earth. I have also become aware that not all extraterrestrial beings resonate with love and goodwill. But when we ourselves hold a consciousness of love, they can do us no harm. Did you hear that, guys? But when we ourselves hold a consciousness of love, they can do us no harm. I came to realize that it is important to be guided by what we intuitively feel when connecting with other energies. I began to speak the language of light. That's, in the Christian, when you speak in tongues like this. I began to speak the language of light. On New Year's Day, 2002, I was at a spiritual festival in Christchurch, New Zealand, and both my friend Don and I, independently, but on the same day, were asked by Spirit to bring energy through to the group of people attending this event. We gained permission to speak to the group, and later that evening, I found myself standing in front of about 300 people in a large marquee set up in the middle of a grassy field. I explained that I really didn't know what was going to happen, but that Don and I had been asked by Spirit to bring a special energy through for everyone on that first day of the new year. With Don standing behind me, I closed my eyes. Okay, I'm ready, I said to my guide. I felt my throat begin to quiver, and out of my mouth came a stream of language, strange words that I had never heard before, let alone spoken. I had my eyes shut, as in those days I found it hard to tune in with my eyes open. I'll give a little example. Bless you. I heard people start laugh, and I felt so uncomfortable and embarrassed that I opened my eyes a little to see what was happening. I thought they were laughing at me. The sight that met my eyes was astounding. Many people were laughing, but not, I realized, at me. Some seemed to be laughing uncontrollably, perhaps with joy. Others were crying. Others sat quiet, still, rooted to the spot, completely unable to move. Then I heard myself begin to explain to the group that Spirit wanted everyone together in one place to prepare them for accomplishing their missions on Earth. I explained that the role I was playing was to transmit the energy that would activate them for this purpose. By 2003, I was speaking the strange language frequently. The poetic, almost rhythmical words flowed rapidly, and my guides told me it was the language of light. One of many dialects of a divine language we could all speak before we began to incarnate on Earth. My spiritual guides described to me a star constellation called Lyra, in particular a group of 12-dimensional stars called Epsilon Lyra. They said that all souls on the Earth have come from the celestial worlds beyond the 12th dimension through the Lyran Stargate, a portal in time and space. They told me that there are 48 dimensions in total in the lower and higher dimensional worlds within this galaxy. Also, I learned from my guides that each soul is to gain wisdom by having physical life experiences while on Earth and subsequently ascend, first through the 12 dimensions of the lower heavenly world, then back to Lyra and beyond to higher heavenly worlds. In the years that followed, my ability to understand and use light language has grown stronger, and the words have changed and matured in vibration as my body becomes better and adapted to handle the energy. While continuing my work as an energy healer, I noticed that when I spoke light language, people changed in positive ways. I began to realize that the light language is a coding for the soul that can help each of us to remember our essence and our truth. I also witnessed how light language could very quickly clear the distorted energy patterns of past life thought that we know as karma. People listening to the light language rapidly became empowered and can then think and act in their lives without being held back by sabotaging patterns of thoughts and beliefs, karma. As my new linguistic skills evolved, I learned to work with feeder lines of light and energy that link higher dimensional energies through each acupuncture point into the energy system of the human body. The light language opens and clears these ancient energy pathways, thereby allowing energies from the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th dimensions of the lower heavenly worlds into the energy circuits of the human body. And by the way, Judy has lots of free activations that she does. They're beautiful on her site. So Google her name. Let's see how much I have. 3 pages left, or a little less. These energy pathways, which resemble wizened filaments of light, have needed to be reactivated and reconnected to higher dimensional energy in order to become part of a new energy circulatory system for a more advanced fifth dimensional type of physical human body. This has been occurring automatically in the years preceding 2012, as well as through the assistance of energy workers. My purpose was to use light language to reconnect these atrophied energy pathways of the human energy anatomy while the Earth was still resonating within the third dimensional envelope of light. Now for the next 21 years that follow the shift of the Earth to a fifth dimensional vibration, from 2012 to 2033 or so, my purpose is to assist people to use their new gifts of greater spiritual energy and empowerment. I have been told that humans have incredible spiritual power and potential, which is, as yet, untrapped. My spiritual guides tell me that when we, as human beings, can pull energy from all 12 dimensions of the lower heavenly worlds through our energy bodies, all 12 strands of potential DNA will be activated, and we will reach our true destiny as human beings. My energy work has always hinged around this principle, the principle of activating people to their highest soul potential and preparing them for their own spiritual work, whatever this is meant to be. Over the years, my spiritual guides began to tell me more about the divine plan for human life on Earth, that we all come here from higher dimensions, from star civilizations that were once our home. I began to understand that the time period on Earth from 2012 and beyond until approximately 2033 is a very special time on Earth, a sidereal year. It is the time it takes the Earth to revolve around the sun, about 365 days. The Earth completes one annus magnus, or great year, or great age, before it begins another in December 2012, a great year, also called the precession of the equinox. It is the time it takes the Earth to rotate around its own axis in one complete revolution every 25,920 years, roughly 26,000 years. The completion and beginning of each great year always ushers in a new, upgraded, evolutionary cycle for the Earth. And this 21-year period of change until 2033 is a critical period of evolutionary change for Earth and her people. My spiritual guides explained to me that the conclusion of this particular great year on December 21st, 2012, is even more important as it marks the completion of 4 great ages of time, each of approximately 26,000 years. My guides explained that 100,000 years is roughly the length of time it takes for a new type of human genetic code with a more advanced 12-strand DNA potential to be integrated within all people living on Earth. I was told that at the beginning of these 4 great cycles that are now completing, many beings from the stars came to Earth to take into the genetic records of their own souls this new, more advanced type of DNA. The completion of this 4th great age is especially important as it also marks the resurrection and return of Earth to a 5th dimensional, faster vibrational frequency. This means that the Earth is being recreated to exist within a faster, pulsating, 5th dimensional envelope of light. I learned that Earth had once been a 5th dimensional planet called Terra, and that because of what was known as the rebellion of the fallen angels, when their original inhabitants of the earth were corrupted, the earth had fallen from the faster pulsating fifth dimensional energy vibrations into the lower consciousness and vibrational levels of the third dimension, in which we have been living for many eons. One more page or so. In the third dimension, creation with the mind makes longer in the third dimension, creation with the mind takes longer, and the entropic energy of Earth's gravitational fields causes decay and aging of the physical body, something that does not happen in the higher dimensional worlds of light. Did you hear that? Aging of the body? See, we're going to get younger, guys. Something that does not happen in the higher dimensional worlds of light. The third dimensional Earth is also a very challenging environment. Kudos to everybody, you guys. It's a very challenging environment in which to live, as it is a place of duality, a place where the memory of each previous lifetime is veiled from us, and a place where karmic distortion, caused by the traumatic experiences of previous lives, is continually triggered in our physical body and energy field. This prompts souls to learn about the self or others from experience, and from correct and incorrect thoughts and beliefs. Okay, let me start. This prompts souls to learn about the self or others from experience, and from correct and incorrect thoughts and beliefs, some of which are not in alignment with higher consciousness states of peace and love. As the years went by, I was told more about the divine plan for the earth. I learned that as humans, we are all created in the image of God or Source, creator of all. I discovered that all life forms are manifested by the imprinting of energy, light, sound, and vibration into material form, no matter whether that form is human, animal, plant, or beings from a higher dimension. For humans, the energy imprint of creation set in place the exact DNA pattern for the human genome, those sequences of sound, light, and vibration that are in turn translated into the complicated and precise nucleic acid sequences, which in turn code amino acids and thereby the chemistry of the body to create the organ and physical form of a human body. It was explained to me that at the time of Earth's shift into higher consciousness and fifth dimensional energy frequencies, and I'm going to say beyond because we're going to move up further than fifth. Okay, it was explained to me that at the time of Earth's shift into higher consciousness and fifth dimensional energy frequencies, the people of the earth would also be energetically activated to expand the ability of the cells of the body to hold light. At that time, the energy circuits and chakra system of the body would recalibrate to use this faster pulsating fifth dimensional energy. Their physical body will become more energized as a result. We're recalibrating now, let me add, since February 22nd of this year through September 22nd of this year. We're on the third eye chakra, recalibrating. And we have one more chakra left, and that's the crown chakra, guys. Okay. Using light language more frequently now, I soon discovered I have a particular affinity with the star Sirius. I feel very strongly that at one time I lived there and that this star is my true home. I learned from my guides that Sirius is also aligned with recreation energy. That energy which is now streaming in from the galactic center to prepare both the Earth and ourselves for fifth dimensional life. In 2003, I began to work a great deal with beings from Arcturus, and I found I could even speak and translate. Oh, gosh. Okay, 2 pages left. How am I doing? Okay, 2 pages. I could also translate Arcturian language without thinking. Without thinking? Wow, that's me adding that. Or having been taught it. Get ready, guys. Somehow within me, I just know. how to speak many sacred light languages. And when I speak these words, people become aware of the latent knowledge and abilities of their own souls. I realize that my role on earth is to serve as a conduit to the heavens, to help people reconnect to source or God energy, and that I am like a cog in a wheel irrevocably turning, taking us all toward new life on a new earth. In the late summer of 2010, I was sitting with my husband on the veranda of our house overlooking one of the Finger Lakes in upstate New York. It was about 9:30 p.m. and still warm, even though it was September and fall was setting in. Simultaneously, we both noticed a large white light moving across the sky. The light remained stationary for some time. It wasn't a star, and it did not appear to be an aircraft, as it wasn't moving and was quite round. As we watched the light, I felt energy streaming into my throat and jerking through my body. I started speaking very rapidly in the language of light, and I felt myself being spoken to by someone who told me he was the commander of a spaceship and that they would come to me soon with information and that I should write it down. That was all. The light moved away very quickly, horizontally across the sky, and disappeared. A few months later, in the stillness of a snowy winter morning just before dawn, I was woken up by a large white orb of light in the sky. It hovered over the lake outside my bedroom window. Still groggy with sleep, I glanced at the light, and the same voice I had heard back in September began to speak to me again, telepathically in my mind, saying it was time to tell me a story. Once again, I was told to write the story down and share it with others. The first day I thought I was dreaming, but early the next morning the orb of light returned yet again, and I knew then that it was neither a dream nor a star. After I awoke, I heard the same voice telling me to get up and write. The light vanished as quickly as it came. In a flash, it was gone, shooting off through the sky. On the third day, I could no longer ignore the light or the words. I knew I had no choice but to get up and begin to write. My previous years of experience as a spiritual channel had taught me how to distinguish between what was important and what was not. I shuffled off to the kitchen to make a hot drink, and thus fortified, I sat down and began to transcribe what I was hearing. So here's what she transcribed, and we're almost done. This is a story of human evolution. It is also a story of love. Do not be afraid. You were once the same as us, and the stars were once your home. We are soon to come in great numbers to the earth, to walk among the people of the earth, and you must have no fear, for we come in peace. We are of love. We were created as you were, in the image of God, the Father, Mother, Creator of all. We are all united in oneness with you. We tell you this story to prepare all the people of the earth so that when we come, you will understand and you will be ready. It took me 12 months to write the story of the stars, sunshine before the dawn. Every word was telepathically downloaded into my mind by the Galactic Council of our Milky Way galaxy. I would not know from the beginning of each paragraph what the end would be, nor did I know where the story was leading. English is used to represent the spiritual language of light so that we might understand. I have, however, included in the book authentic written light language. This light language calligraphy is the work of my Singaporean friend and colleague, Yantara Giro. You will feel the energy when you look at the words. The spelling of some English words is as given to me by Spirit, and therefore may be somewhat different from the spelling you are used to. For example, I was asked to spell Atlantis, Atlantis, as Atlantis. That's Atlantes. During my time of writing this story, I experienced many changes. I came into a greater understanding about the purpose and potential of life for all of us here on earth, and I began to express more of my own soul's truth and essence. I share this story with you with the same energy of love and peace that it was given to me, so that we all may join in a greater understanding of what it means to be human and to begin a new life on a new earth. Judy Satori. And the next chapter, chapter 1, and I'll read that next time we're on. The title of chapter 1 is The Dreamers. We talked about dreaming tonight. Chapter 1, The Dreamers, 100,000 years ago. So we're going to take a time machine back to 100,000 years ago and see how our life changed in a dramatic, awesome way. So with that, Candy, come on in, and anybody come on and bring some comments. What did you guys think? Are we interested?
Wow, that was great, Elizabeth, and right, dreaming, and just like what I was saying, the synchronicity there is good, and yet 12 strands, that's something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the message that I got is that the power is always in the unseen, and a thought is a thing, and think and it shall be. You know, we create our reality, our thoughts.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is funny.
And there was a lot of information in there in this prologue. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just remember reading, she was talking about 2012, and I just remember reading an article somewhere, I think it might have been from the Cobra site, about the fact that the bad guys had slowed down the wave of energy that was supposed to happen in 2012. So it's happening now instead.
Yeah, well, I don't know if, because now what I know about the Sphere group, which is the Raw group, which is the Law of One group, the Blue Avian group, they're all the same. They have thousands of spheres around our universe or the Earth. They're diffusing the energy that's coming in to encode us, which if they didn't, it would be too fast for us. We'd go crazy kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And another huge message that I gathered from this is really the necessity for the amalgamation of the races, because if the vibrations in these DNA strands are so different, then it's not going to be possible for us to blend, and I said the more closer we are to this transition, I think the barriers are coming down, and also the racial barriers. It's like there's a new age coming, and it's going to require a new human being, and it's going to take all the elements of all these races to make the composite.
Good point. Yeah. Hi, anybody else? Come join in with us. Deb, you want to add anything? Or anybody?
Just, it's been a great experience to come on the Diamond Network and share our thoughts. It's wonderful.
Absolutely. And when we get done here, I'll call Candy, and maybe you have Candy's number, or Candy have your number?
At the close of the, I don't mind giving my number over the air, because I'm just completely open. I don't have any barriers.
Okay.
So,
Candy, do you have a okay, yeah. Well, I got a pen. Okay, go ahead.
562-326-4197.
326 what?
562 area code 326 4197.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So if anybody else has a comment or Candy, just be sure. I see the theme, what's going on with me and Candy's show, and adding beauty. Beauty. This is great. I love this series. And Mondays we have a show. What is this? Monday. Tomorrow we're doing our 4th Raw Speak show, so look for that to be uploaded probably Saturday morning. It should be there. It depends on Chris. So, and then Cynthia next Thursday. Diamonds with an S Forever 31. Oh my God, Elizabeth. Diamonds with an S Forever 31.blogspot.com. Check it out. And Candy shows on Wednesdays. You want to give your information, Candy?
Yes, and Chris Jacobs will be the guest speaker this coming Wednesday, and that would be 559-546-1700, PIN 800718 at an hour later than this at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And gosh, Elizabeth, I just think that this was a great idea that you had to add this to the Diamond Network. I think that we combined and beauty and experiencing and cherishing and increasing the beauty in our loves and our thoughts and our actions. That's what increases our energy. And that's what makes it our vibrations stronger as we're going into the 4th dimension and being ready for first contact. So I feel good about this show tonight.
I feel good about it too. Yes. So keep shining beauty, diamonds. Be beautiful. Love you, and we'll see you soon. This is reference number 268.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody.
Are you looking for healing or a change in your life to help you enjoy it more fully? You might benefit from a galactic energy reading and clearing from Chris Jacobs. Chris will work with you on a soul level to clear unseen negative influences, implants, programs, contracts, and energetic blocks. Chris Jacobs is a gifted energy healer. Contact him today at ChristopherStephenJacobs@gmail.com.